Ooh, comics. Ooh, movies.
Do we need to start over?
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. Hello, and welcome to the review of Justice League. Now, the movie hasn't come out yet. It's coming in the spring of next year, I do believe. But you might have seen our previous video of Superman versus Batman.
Batman versus Superman.
Right, my bad. Dawn of Justice. Now, we reviewed that movie before we saw it, and then we went to see it and confirmed all of our opinions.
Yeah.
So now we want to do the same thing with Justice League.
That's right. Again, like you said, the movie is slated to come out spring of 2017. We obviously have not seen the movie, but we did just want to give this critical review of the movie to let you know what our thoughts were of the movie, and maybe give you some
Just insight,
yeah,
into what you can expect into the movie. Now, this is a spoiler-filled review.
Yeah,
okay?
We're going to be sharing all the spoilers that we caught in the movie. Again, we haven't seen the movie, but
Right.
all the spoilers that we have seen.
We are looking forward to it very much, though.
To start out, what was your favorite part of the movie?
Well, my favorite part of the movie was probably the opening cutscene. When you had Batman and Superman right there. It's kind of funny that they right out of the gates with Superman. I mean, it was obvious that he did not stay dead from the end of Batman versus Superman, but he starts out, he's in the very first scene, Batman and Superman. And I feel like it's kind of redundant,
Yes.
but they did fight.
I'm laughing so much because, to me, I don't know about for you, that one scene in the opening credits where you talk about
Right.
Superman and Batman are just standing there. Well, it ends up being a dream, being dreamed by Superman.
Right.
And it's a really silly scene. It's really funny. But it's his dream while he's in the grave, as you saw at the end of Batman versus Superman.
He's merely unconscious, or in a coma, if you will.
So he wakes up immediately and gets together the Justice League. You may have seen, this may sound weird to you guys if you've seen the trailer for Justice League where Batman is gathering all of the Justice League. Like you see the scene in the trailer with Batman gathering the Flash. That actually did not happen. Superman gathered all of the superheroes, including Batman.
Batman at first initially just did not want to be a part of the Justice League.
Right, which was a shocker, but was a lot like the cartoons.
And see, I live for plot twists like this, right out of the gates, plot twist. I love that.
A complete change from the trailer. Another thing that changed, which I personally thought was for the greater good of the entire movie, was the guy, I don't even know his name, the guy that was slated to play the Flash. And he was in the trailer. None of that happened, so they actually recasted the Flash.
Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller was the guy.
Oh yeah, Ezra Miller. They actually recasted the Flash and put Grant Gustin in as the Flash. It was excellent. He did a great job.
It was a bold move. Yeah.
It was a bold move. The CW cast, I think they really pulled it off.
Yeah.
Actually, most of the CW cast from all of the CW shows actually had cameo appearances.
Right, including Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen.
And Catco Worldwide CEO, Cat Grant, as well.
Yeah.
She actually had her own building in Metropolis, which you might think is weird because, the Flash comes from Earth 1 and Supergirl comes from Earth 2. They don't mention
confusing.
that, and they don't try to explain that, which is fine to me.
Right.
I think it's okay.
The only difference is the Superman that was in the Supergirl TV show was not in this movie.
Obviously, it was Henry Cavill. Right.
Which he did an excellent job.
Right.
I enjoyed Henry Cavill a lot.
I think when he came back from the dead, he was a lot more lively than in Batman vs. Superman. It really worked for me.
The same thing with Jesse Eisenberg. He did an excellent job. I love Jesse Eisenberg.
Right.
He was probably my favorite character in
now,
the show.
It needs to be said that he was the least favorite character in Batman vs Superman.
And I hated him.
Yeah,
I hated
exactly.
him in
Nobody
Batman
likes
vs.
him.
Superman.
Nobody liked him.
And really, that kind of carried over into this movie, and
it did.
He just got on my nerves the whole time.
Very
I didn't
frustrating.
like him at all. Jesse Eisenberg was probably the most annoying character, wouldn't you say?
I would say most annoying, but best acted character, I would say. Jesse Eisenberg did a fantastic
That's where I would
job.
have to disagree with you. I would have to say he's probably the worst actor on the show.
All right, well then we must disagree to disagree, because Jesse Eisenberg, in my opinion, is one of the greatest actors who's ever lived, honestly, right next to Brad Pitt and Ryan Reynolds. But other than that, you know, I think it was a great film.
Yeah,
so let's talk about another topic.
Okay.
What did you think about their exclusion of Wonder Woman? Because we know that she had her own movie. What did you think about her not being in this movie?
At first, I was a little bit disappointed, but I kind of grew to appreciate the absence of Wonder Woman, and obviously they replaced her with Supergirl.
Right,
from
obviously,
CW.
yes.
She was the
Wonder Woman type person.
which you've got to have that female superhero in every superhero movie,
Absolutely.
pretty much.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was great. I thought she did an excellent job.
I thought she did too. But then when Wonder Woman actually comes in at the last 30 minutes, I thought that was a great,
yeah.
So
It was really funny, actually, the way she came in riding on a dinosaur.
yeah.
But it actually fits the plot. She's from that island with all the prehistoric,
Athena, or
Athena,
something, Athens. Or
So it
something
makes
like
sense that she would be riding a dinosaur.
Right.
What about, how did you appreciate the appearance of Stephen Amell as the main villain?
Oh, wow, yeah. I was honestly not shocked. I kind of expected that they'd pull a move like this. You know, it's DC. We've seen a lot of weird things, and I've kind of drawn a little pattern here. So I fully expected Stephen Amell to be in this movie, as the villain particularly. What did you think?
Right. I thought he made a great Darkseid. He was a great Darkseid.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't like him as the Green Arrow on the CW, but I loved him as Darkseid. It was just
right. And you could say for the haters out there, you could say that the plot line was exactly the same as Batman vs Superman, and you know maybe it was, but you know they did a little bit differently. Darkseid, obviously you have the Justice League there,
obviously.
Supergirl, so I think it spiced it up a little bit.
Grant Gustin was
Yeah.
there.
Take it.
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but he basically ran circles around Stephen Amell, created a vortex, and actually made Darkseid collapse in on himself, killed him completely.
Right.
Flash saved the day.
But at the end, I loved how they left it open for a sequel, because at the end, the Flash disappeared and his clothes were left behind. We assume that he time traveled to the future,
which could lead into the Flashpoint Paradox, which is another DC movie.
Right.
So I'm excited to see what happens in the next. So I don't know. What was your biggest disappointment about the movie?
Biggest disappointment, I would have to say Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I think he really disappointed me. I really expected them to put back in Gene Wilder. I thought Gene Wilder did a fantastic job in the first Superman movie, in the 1978 movie called Superman 2. I thought that was the best interpretation of Lex Luthor. I thought they'd come back, but
I agree. Jesse Eisenberg did a terrible job. That's inarguable. He's the worst Lex Luthor, but I would say a better Lex Luthor would be someone like Vin Diesel. I think Vin Diesel would be a great Lex Luthor.
Maybe
that's something that I said when they were creating the Man of Steel movie.
You did say that.
I said that, and you can call me on that.
I got you.
I'll
call you on it.
I said Vin Diesel would be an excellent, and here's why. Here's why. He's already got the bald head. You don't have to get used to that.
That's right.
And he's buff. We've yet to see a Lex Luthor that is buff. He would make the greatest Lex Luthor, mainly because when I look at Vin Diesel, I just can see just a psychopath, you know?
Yeah.
He's just got that air about him, you know?
If you've seen Furious 7, he did a phenomenal job, but he was the most psychopathic person you've ever seen in that series. if we're talking about Henry Cavill,
Henry
what was
Cavill.
your thoughts on Henry Cavill?
Well, I mean, obviously, what you already know my opinion of
Right.
Henry Cavill and the Man of Steel.
Oh, you've talked
and
all about
Batman
it.
versus Superman.
From the beginning of when he was cast as the Man of Steel, you were talking
I
about it.
knew that he was going to be the best Superman that we've seen to date. That was when I found out he was being casted. But when I went to see the movie Man of Steel, I was utterly disappointed. He was the worst. Probably worse than, what's that guy? I don't even know his name. The guy that plays the Atom on the CW.
Oh.
He is Superman.
See, he's so
he was
bad.
even better than Henry Cavill.
He's
And I
so
don't
good
even
that
know his
nobody
name.
knows his name. Yeah.
Yeah, but Henry Cavill, worst Superman to date.
Right.
There's really no redeeming. He kind of ruined the movie for me.
Mm.
The whole time I was watching the movie, I just couldn't get past Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree. You know, other than the fact that, you know, Superman, we've seen different interpretations, but in my opinion, honestly, I think Henry Cavill is the best Superman Superman portrayal. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Best Superman portrayal.
He's the best.
Right up there to Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I would say he's right up there.
Yes.
And in our previous
totally
video,
agree.
I called it. I said Daredevil was the best movie that Ben Affleck's ever done, and it's true.
agree.
You know.
I agree.
Okay.
Henry Cavill, yes, is absolutely, probably the best actor in the entire show.
He's done a great job. If it wasn't for
Great
all the times
cast
that he
choice.
failed.
Yeah.
I think as comic book fans, you and I have been reading comic books ever since we were 3 years old.
Yeah.
Ever since we
I
can
have.
remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Literally, I remember.
And for me, like, I've never read a comic book in my life, but I can resonate with comic book stories.
Right.
Because
especially that of the CW, because I read comic books all my life, and so I know all about.
I did too. Yeah.
I know all about the RoboCop and the Green Lantern Corps. I know all of those. I was big fans of those two comics exclusively. Those two comics, big fans. And so when it comes to RoboCop and the Green Lantern Corps, I know all about it. Now, is Green Lantern my favorite hero? No, he's one of the least favorite. However, the Green Lantern Corps is one of the best storylines that I've ever read in my life.
Yes.
Yep. And so whatever I know about those, I just let you know.
Right.
And that's great.
And so bringing it back into the Justice League movie review, would you recommend the Justice League movie to our viewers?
Absolutely not. I think it's an awful movie. I think they did a terrible job. Zack Snyder came back for a double punch to the throat to all of the comic book fans. As a fan of RoboCop, I thought it was just a terrible representation of both Superman and Batman, and so that's my final thought.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The Justice League movie, like you said, it's probably the best DC movie we've seen to date. I would say I absolutely loved it. I thought every second was good. Mm-hmm. They didn't make a single mistake. Everything they did in that movie was pure gold. And I would say go see it, go enjoy it, watch it several times in theaters. It's a great movie.
And don't forget to pick it up on Blu-ray when it comes out as well.
That's right.
Again, I want to reiterate, have not seen the movie.
We have not seen it.
But we look very much forward to seeing it.
Yes.
And we hope that you can benefit from this review.
Can't wait. So, have a good day. And if you like the video, just comment below. Just like it. Give us a thumbs up.
Subscribe.
And just let us know what you think.
Down there.
And just
follow us.
Follow us on Facebook. And have a good day.
Yeah, well, stay comic booky out there. Comic book nerds.